Welcome back to Football Pundits. As you can see, today we have India's first back with us, Alok and Rayan. Guys, I'm not going to dwell too much about the Euros. It clearly was enjoyable for some, as you can see here, through a non-discreet jersey, a little bit of show off there. And some didn't really enjoy it too much. But coming back to what happened before the Euros and the turmoil that is around the club, you guys support till your death, like Alok is rightly displaying on his t-shirt over there, and all the merry-go-round with the manager hiring and the players and Daniel Levy himself. So much of I would say you could call it an unprofessional startup look, right? That's what it looked like. But you have a manager now. Let's get a good discussion going from that. What you'll expect from him. We've all seen what he's done in the Premier League. So clearly, it's not a new guy showing up from a foreign league which you don't know about, just out of Espanyol or something like that, right? So, Alok, you can go first. Nuno, your feelings straight up.
I actually wasn't overwhelmed by this decision when Nuno was announced. Reason being, the kind of managers we were linked with during this entire hunt, right? We were linked with Conte to begin with, Eric Ten Hag or Rangnick for that matter. And and for a brief period, also, whatever happened after that. So Nuno wasn't a very great decision. Like if someone had told me in the beginning of this your manager, I wouldn't have said like okay to that. But eventually, the kind of managers we were finally linked with, I think Nuno was the best one to come out of because Gattuso, of course, not. So I think Nuno kind of is like okay, like we can still go ahead with him. Now, what to expect from him? I think the interview that that uh, that reminded me of Pochettino again. That we wanna make our fans feel about our club again. We want to bring that magic again. So something to look forward to. I think is started with on a right note with the fans at least. Uh, a few interviews from our youth academy, and they also are saying that uh, the training sessions are going really well. It clearly shows that he's putting some efforts into train like fitness of the players. So that's something that was lacking in Mourinho's time. So something good to look forward to. And his Wolves time is like everyone knows what season back in the Premier League, right? So something good to look forward to. Hopefully, I mean that's what the Spurs fan do. That's the only thing that Spurs fan do. Hope for the best.
So for me as well, I'm not overwhelmed by it. I'm not underwhelmed by it. I think my immediate reaction when he was announced was that great, we finally got someone. It wasn't that, oh wow, it's Nuno, oh shit, it's Nuno. It's just that now there's a guy who's now a manager who you can see that okay, he's in charge. Um, because I think the last time we spoke, the three of us, last time we were on the podcast, it was before the Carabao Cup final, and Jose had just been sacked. Right? And me and Alok both were, I think we were both in the minority of Spurs fans that were Jose in till basically the very end. I didn't agree with the fact that he was sacked, especially the timing of it. So I'm not like Alok. I'm not very excited. I don't think Nuno's going to set the world alight at Spurs. But I think we could have done worse. I prefer Nuno to Graham Potter. Um, I prefer him obviously to Fonseca. I prefer him to Gattuso. I prefer him also to Scott Parker, because I think you have to acknowledge the fact that the guy took Wolves from championship to back-to-back sixth place finishes, right? And you look at the praise that, for example, someone like Bielsa is getting, right? For getting Leeds to come. What I think they finished ninth or tenth. Um, and I mean, if you think about it, Nuno did better than that for two seasons in a row. So I mean, Bielsa is lauded as obviously for the stuff he's done before, but I mean, he's looked at as this amazing manager who's taken Leeds to 10th, and arguably Leeds have, I would say, in places a better squad than Wolves did in their first season. Last season was obviously a write-off, but I think they were lacking up front. Once Jimenez got injured, and he's certainly not lacking up front with this Spurs squad. I think the one place where we have depth and where we're pretty well stocked is for now, touchwood, and I hope Harry stays. Is we are well stocked up front. So yeah, I'm not too excited about it, but I think we could have done much worse than Nuno. And I think the thing that really annoyed me was that that we went almost 3 months without a manager, and the basically the Conte links for me, not even the Pochettino links, because I was like, fine, Pochettino will come back. I was very happy about it, but the ones that really got me excited were the Conte links. When I thought Conte was gonna come, I was like, like a couple of my friends were United fans, City fans. They were like, listen, if Conte is coming, we're a bit worried. Even with the squad that we have now, people would have been worried because I mean he's such an amazing manager. But I mean, Nuno's not bad, and like Alok said, I like a lot of things about him. Sounds a lot like Pochettino when Pochettino first came in. It's going to be a lot about team, like team equality and team bonding, and that sort of that creating that culture that Pochettino created. Um, but yeah, I mean, like Alok said, we all we do is hope, and
Uh,
we're getting very good at it.
I think, see, so that's the thing. I think for me, the way as a neutral, I saw this whole thing developing, right? Obviously, it looked shit on like the club. And you all know this, like, this is why you needed the director of football appointment. You needed the separation. Both you and Alok discussed this in the last video, like you mentioned. You needed a split of roles because Levy clearly wasn't able to cope anymore, right? After the whole Super Cup, whatever. I'm not even going to go there because that argument went on for too long on social media, and I'm glad it's over there. The whole Super League nonsense right there. Um, I think it came to a point where whoever's going to come next, obviously, once Mourinho goes and looking at who's available, the moment Allegri went out back to Juventus, right, you guys were in trouble. You guys obviously knew you all were in trouble because the big names weren't out there. Now, there was a point of, does Levy want to keep Kane, or as a club, they've kind of prepared with the director of football coming in to kind of find a manager who will work according to the way Levy still wants him to work, right? Who will be able to be kind of under the thumb a bit and not a Conte who will make demands. Look, he's won the league at Inter and Conte left. So clearly Conte maybe was just a very elaborate, hyped up by the press kind, which made everyone almost believe it, but didn't seem like it made sense, right? I don't know if you guys agree with that. Because the neutral, I thought it doesn't make sense. He's left Inter after winning the league, getting them into the Champions League, blah, 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 keeping them there. And he's left because clearly he asked for, and he was ambitious. And I don't think Tottenham were going to be able to give him any of what he really demanded. Assuming you kept Harry
Basically,
Kane,
Tottenham are not ambitious, basically.
if you kept Harry Kane, maybe you could have switched a bit around 80, 90 million, maybe gotten two players, more of the Son kind of players, and kind of got that in, sent somebody out, right?
But on the contrary, if Kane were to leave,
Yeah.
I wouldn't any other manager currently available than Conte to handle that kind of money. If Kane is leaving, we're talking about at least 250 million for all of the transfers that we eventually do, like 150 odd for Kane and 100 million from here and there. So
And then
to
and then
to
and then
take
the
that
club always
250 million,
sorry
yes,
the club always also I mean they always put in,
yeah,
even though everyone says it's what you spend, what you bring
yeah,
in terms of transfers. The club always I mean, if you look at
yeah, yeah,
Spurs last couple of transfer, at least 100 goes in. So you're looking at, like you said,
yes.
at least
Yeah,
300.
at least 300, 350 million pounds we're talking here. And to take that kind of money for a club, I think there is no other manager than Conte. Like with that money, he wins the league. He wins you the league. There is no in between. He probably could have gotten 6, 7 good and changed the entire face of the team. So that's what Conte was. Even with Kane or without Kane, he would have probably done a lot
So,
better.
which is what
But
I'm saying. It's a little
Nuno,
confusing as a neutral. If you wanted that and you were prepared to let Kane leave and let Conte come in and take the money, it would have made sense. Now you're telling me, does Kane stay and he works or wants to play under Nuno? And I'm respecting Nuno because, you're both rightly mentioned here that he's not, Jan mentioned Wolves and what he's done. Always taking off results against the big clubs, kept them in the top of the table. And this was one of the worst seasons we've seen. Not pretty much nothing kind of football, right? But he's done this with Valencia as well. He got Valencia to a fourth place finish and the Champions League before his job at Porto. So clearly, he has it in him to take a squad of players and motivate them to meet objectives. That sounds like what Tottenham want to do. Looking at the way Tottenham finished this season, it's the kind of job a Nuno will do. But talking about Harry Kane now, let's say he still leaves because he's like, I cannot waste one more year at Tottenham. Do you think the club will still spend 150 million and give it to Nuno?
I think the entire Kane leaving thing is that basically now more than before, especially now because see, everyone has a lot of anger towards Levy. Right, we saw that in the last game of the season. There were ugly scenes at the stadium. Even though there is a director of football, the anger still directed above him at Levy. Right. So I think Levy had to get the managerial appointment spot on. If he had got Conte or Pochettino back, or then much earlier on immediately when he had sacked Jose, if he had gone and got Nagelsmann, which is always unlikely because of Bayern, then then Levy could have still thought about selling Kane because he had that credit from the fans. But now if he because I mean the 70 days where we didn't have manager, basically a massive mess up, right? So you put that, and then on top of that you put the fact that that you then go and sell your best player. I mean, we're already 3 weeks before the season starts, right? If he was going to sell him, he should have sold him before the Euros.
Indeed.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't work like that. But I think that he's now basically he's gonna fight till the end to keep Kane, and I think this season he'll keep Kane because I think being England captain and having the sort of status he does at Spurs and status he has in the game, especially in the English game in general, I don't think Kane is the type of guy who's going to be like, I'm not coming for preseason, I'm not going to play the preseason games. I think Modric did, and I think even Bale did it a little bit. I don't think that Kane will do that, right? So for me, I don't think he'll leave. But if he does, I think he has to. Then obviously on the flip side, if he does, we have to spend the money. If he does, you have to go and get, not Skriniar or Koundé, but Skriniar and Koundé. And if Koundé is saying no, you find another guy who's got that much hype and who's worth that much, and you buy him. Right? And you buy another. You have to get Danny Ings and another striker, right? So it would worry me if we sold him now because then it's the 19th today. I mean 25 days to get big transfers in doesn't work.
Right.
I mean, you have to go and get a Jack Grealish, basically.
Yeah,
Which is
right.
not
Right,
going to
so
happen.
before we go to the transfers bit, right, and we can go to it and accordingly decide how we want to, set this episode up and split it up or keep it as it is, right? Alok, so just before we go there, so you're telling what Rian basically said is you've given Harry Kane, your best player, best striker in England, you've given him enough of time to basically keep thinking. If he would have won the Euros, I think the banking on the fact that he would have won the Euros and been happy to stay back because he's satisfied. Now he's not. He's lost the Euro finals. So he's hungry. He's coming back to potentially play under manager. He thought, like I said, I am not trying to say anything here because you never know how it's going to work out, right? He could surprise you. But not obviously what any one of y'all had in mind. I'm not pretty sure what not even Son and Kane and etc. didn't have in mind either. So do you think then, right over there, and before we move on to the transfers, Nuno's been set up to fail? And you worry for the season, or you are not that negative still?
No, I don't think he's set up to fail. The reason being, I think Nuno is not, first of all, Daniel Levy. This has Paratici written all over it. For one reason is that if you see after Pochettino, the kind of Daniel Levy has pursued, they were all big names. Irrespective of whether Daniel Levy could afford them or not, he always went after the big names or the popular names because he wants to keep hold of the fans now, right? So you look at Eric Ten Hag or Conte or Pochettino for that matter. When he knew that he couldn't get them, he still went for them. Paratici, I think, convinced Levy to get Nuno. So I think that's a good change that is happening in the club today. That Daniel Levy is listening to someone apart from himself.
Basically, Wendell
Which
told him
Steve,
that you've hired me for this, so man, let me do my job.
yeah, yes, exactly, and that's a good change. I think what we currently want to do here is, I think the plan is to get Pochettino back sooner or later.
I agree.
That is something that has happened. I mean, this is something that clearly is visible because Pochettino clearly wanted to come back. I mean, whatever the reports were, never came out and said anything against it. I have a doubt here that probably he did want to come back to Spurs. He was in London at that point. So the I think the plan is, and you look at the contract that we have offered to Nuno. It's 2-year contract. By what time Pochettino is done his contract with PSG? So I think that is the plan. Now, uh, is Levy able to convince Harry Kane that wait for 2 years? Pochettino is gonna come back after winning some trophies. That's the only way Pochettino Kane stays. Otherwise, Kane leave next year, 100%. If he doesn't leave this year, he leaves next year. The only way you can make Kane stay is by winning trophies and something tangible that he believes in. I don't see us winning trophies with the current squad. I think even if we win constantly, I'll be happy. Like currently the situation that I am in, I'm pretty sure some random team in Belarus or Romania is going to beat us.
No, no, I'm telling you, we'll get to the final. We'll get to the final, and there'll be a certain team from Italy with a certain manager that's going to beat us in the final.